ready? Let's stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I was in Memphis visiting my daughter for Thanksgiving and then drove to Nashville to visit my son for Thanksgiving. So I had plain turkey, dressing, cranberry sauce, brisket, some real thin-shaved Smithfield ham on biscuits for breakfast, and grits. So everything's lovely. I just got in a few minutes ago and don't have a mayor's report. So that will be caught up. There's an article in the newspaper a week from Wednesday, and I'm going to cover everything on that. So get the newspaper and read all about it. So that leaves it to the city administrator.
Okay, I got a short report. First off, I would like to thank Todd and the street department for all their hard work in that last heavy snowfall we had a week or so ago. And then the mayor, the public works director, and myself met with an engineering firm last week to discuss street prioritization. We later received information from them on some areas of Herman that would be eligible for various transportation improvement grants. And one of those areas would include the Highway 19 bridge over Frame Creek. Now, I've been working with the MRPC on the FEMA buyout and demolition of the hospital clinic building on 6th Street. And the CDBG grant for the demolition of 3 properties in town will not be announced until sometime next month. I will be attending the Ozark River Solid Waste Management District meeting in St. James tomorrow, and the Gasconade Valley Enterprise Zone meeting in Owensville on the 29th.
Can I ask you a question real quick? I've been getting from citizens on the demolition grants. What happens to the property after it's demolished? Is it still the same property owner, or does the city get the fee?
If it's a CDBG grant, the owners own the property. If it's a FEMA buyout, then FEMA is part of the process, but the city doesn't own the property because it's in the floodplain. So with the CDBG, the 3 that we're talking about would belong to the current owners.
What about the Knoxville?
That would belong to the city,
Oh,
that piece of land.
And so then they get to, is there any restrictions after, if it's privately owned still?
Only what would apply in zoning or
Right.
anything of that nature, yeah.
What are the percentages, Mark? Do you remember on those? No? Okay.
As far as,
Well,
it's an 80-20 on residential and, I'm sorry, 90-10 on residential, 80-20 on commercial.
can we hold the property owners responsible for that 10 or 20%?
Absolutely.
So we're gonna get the property.
We're not.
Well, if they
Well,
don't
if
pay
they
it,
don't
they don't
pay,
pay it, we
right,
will.
right.
Okay.
okay. All right, now we have our building inspector. I know Lee is here, so Lee, do you want to come forward and talk to us about international code updates and permit fees?
All right, I think everyone received a packet of the, what I put together. I'm sure everyone's aware of it. Right now, the city, we're working off the 2009 International Building Codes. And it's time that we adopt a newer version of it. And I'm recommending that we use the 2015 edition. There is a 2018 available now, but I understand that there's issues with that. It's not been time tested, so to speak. So pretty much everybody in our area is going to the 2015 version. And with that, I put together these proposed amendments that I'd like to see along with the the amendments in the appendix, and I don't know if you all had a chance to look at this, or if it's hard to understand unless you have compare it with the textbooks themselves. But there's a group of committee members, actually 4 local people, local men plus myself, that reviewed the amendments and approved them as they are stated here, and I'm asking the city to adopt those amendments. There's 2 areas in particular that I want to bring to your attention. One is under the residential code. I had that highlighted on page 13. The way the building code reads now, sprinkler systems in 1 and 2 families are mandatory. But it's on page 13 of the International Residential Code. On page 3, I'm sorry. Page 3 of 13. Page 3, that's it.
It's highlighted.
Anyway, as section R 313.1 automatic fire extinguishers, as it reads now, as per the section of the Missouri statute, they revised the statute to read that sprinkler systems, that's subject to the owner. If the owner of the property elects to sprinkle if they can, or if they choose not to, that's all right too. Having said that, under 313.2, the fire sprinkler form, I think that maybe that's on the next page.
Right, it's on the back of that.
The back page, okay. This pertains to any new construction of one or 2 family or townhouses where we'd use this, and the owner of the property, the builder or whoever builds the house, they would have to fill out this form and decide whether they want a sprinkler or not. We would have a record, permanent record, stating as such. If somebody's got a speculative builder, if he was to build a house for sale, I mean, we would ask he fill this out too. You know, he's the owner of the building at the time of the construction. And, I think it's a good idea. I don't know, you know, I like to see. I like to see this farm be used for all new construction and residential construction. That's what I had under the residential. The other one was under the International Fire Code. This pertains to a burn violation where we requirement of a burn permit. And this would pretty much, well, it addresses their 703.1.2 violations of open burning. Now this could address to anybody if they were burning waste to the extent where the fire department would have to be called out that these fines could be used in that case. Under 307.6.1, this one would pertain to, as it reads there, clearing of a large piece of ground. I don't know, define how large, what that means. I'm not sure. But that would be the case anyway. DNR they would get involved in any kind of a large burn project of trees and brush and what have you. You know that the fire is maintained and everything, the burning is controlled. But the city, we have no say so on that. At least we could issue a permit where these individuals would have to submit all the documentation from DNR and the permit from DNR, that we would have a dog in the fight, so to speak.
And normally when DNR does that, when they have those that they're clearing land and that, don't they make them come in with those air?
Yeah, there's a
Things
process
to-
you have to follow, yeah. Yeah, nowadays they have immense grinders too. They don't burn it, they
Right.
grind the stuff up, but I'm sure that the burning is where you have to, you know, you don't want to, that the fire burns right, you know, it's not. yeah.
It burns it hotter and faster,
Mhm, yeah.
that way it's not there for 10 days burning.
Yeah, a lot of black smoke coming up, yeah.
The one question I had is on the violation, $150 per hour or so forth. Is that money go to the city or is that money gonna go to the fire department?
That's good.
Well, I'm just saying.
No,
because-
I understand that, no, it, that would be by ordinance, I suspect, or,
Well, the reason I ask, you know, it, being we're a volunteer department.
Yeah.
You know,
No, right-
if
right
you're
now,
gonna-
I
if you're
don't-
gonna charge for
And-
that, you know, it'd be nice if they.
and I have to admit, I copied this direct from Washington,
No, I'm
you know what
just,
I'm saying, and I just,
had that.
yeah,
question.
we have to kind of work those things out, sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. But,
I have a couple questions about this one too. When it says recreational fires, what's the definition of a recreational fire?
the fire code addresses a recreational fire as something that's 3 feet in diameter and 3 foot high, not any larger.
Any
Fire pit.
So, yeah, so like a residential fire pit or a
Yep.
campfire at the
Yeah.
campgrounds would all have to get a permit?
No, that's, no.
Because that's what it says.
Okay, let me, where is that?
It says open burning of landscape or land clearance, and under, you know, the title of the section says recreational fires, without any definitions. And then,
Do you see it?
it says under
Where
the
is that?
307.6.1, burn permit required. Open burning of landscape or land clearance waste disposal shall be allowed after obtaining a burn permit.
6.1.
So what is open burning of landscape? So like in my yard, our big pecan tree sheds branches weekly.
I
And so
think what
then-
he's talking there is what he was explaining for construction when they push a bunch.
But what
down.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
it's not defined though. What
It's
does
not-
what does
it's-
open burning of landscape mean? I mean, is it like wood burning?
No, I think possibly the title of the section is, section 307 is open burning and recreational fires. It goes 307.12, then jumps to 307.6. And as Lee said earlier, it's kind of hard to read this without reading the entire code.
Yeah, you have to.
And I think when it talks about recreational fires is probably in the part of the code
It's
that
been
we're
out
not
of code,
seeing right
that's
here.
correct, yeah, yeah,
You know what
right.
I mean? One of those sections in between.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
maybe
and-
where it says
It's
recreational
like you're
fires.
saying, if people are burning leaves in the gutters, which they do, or they pile of trash or something, and, it's kind of a city's call. At least we would have something to fall back on if, does that
Do you
make
have an
sense?
ordinance about burning leaves on the street?
People are allowed to burn their leaves,
Yeah.
but they cannot, we have what they call negligent burning. You cannot just light them and walk away. You
Okay,
have
that's
to
my
stay
next
there with them.
So unattended burning is not.
Yeah, basically.
And then another question I had is it references the fire code official. So who would be do we have a fire code official now?
That would be me.
It would have to be him because as far as the volunteer fire department, we have no fire inspector
Yeah.
or anybody in that capacity.
Okay.
There's
Is that the
nothing
same,
here.
is that the same in the 2009 version that we have now? It names a fire, that there's a fire code
Yeah,
official.
yeah, mhm, yeah, that's
So
correct.
according to this one, the staples in it, 307.6.1.2, that says you're not allowed to burn
Prohibited
garbage.
materials is,
Household garbage, yeah, prohibited material,
mhm.
rubbish of any kind, garbage, waste. So if somebody burning their cardboard boxes and eggshells and stuff like that, that's prohibited. I would-
That's prohibited.
Right.
It could be addressed.
Okay.
Right.
But there's nothing in here that would prohibit anybody from burning leaves or garden waste. As long as it doesn't get away with them.
As long as
probably
it doesn't get away with it, and there's not a lot, no, it would probably be governed on complaints, more so, you know, I'm not gonna drive around the street, look for the stuff, but it just,
And we do
More-
have that burn permit now, which some people come and get for leaves and yard waste are the only allowable things with a burn permit. And they have like a 30-day window, and they have to contact dispatch to make sure there's not a, what do you call that, a dry, no burn.
Right.
yeah, and this is all, you know, kind of discourage that sort of thing, really, but primarily any large fires, I guess, intentional large fires where the city would require obtain a permit, and definitely if it's a situation where DNR is involved, and I would think anybody associated with that type of work, that they know the ins and outs about things, not gonna go out and just start the stuff, but at least they'd have to report to the city, and we'd have to devise some kind of a permit and fee for that purpose.
Do we have a fee for a burn permit?
No,
Just,
permission, yeah.
I don't think you have that big of a problem within the city limits. I mean, we get a lot of burn permits at the firehouse for farmers and so forth, out, you know, where they're doing, burning a field or so forth, and so we know in advance.
well, I would think that if you charge, it's something we want them to do, so we wouldn't want to charge them. You know, get it to encourage them to come in here, so we know that they're gonna burn.
How many times a year do you get them?
I don't know.
4, 5?
Yeah.
Maybe a few more.
Oh, you get more than that? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's about my spiel.
I have one more question, not under the automatic sprinkler system. 903.2.113, it says buildings more than 35 feet in height, automatic sprinkler system shall be installed throughout that building that have more than one story, 35 feet or more from the lowest level of the vehicle access, regardless of occupancy. So does this go for existing buildings, let's say Herzog Mansion or Klinger Inn, and they're going to do some remodeling, do they then have to install? Because they're going to be over that height. I mean, we don't have a lot of the buildings, but we do have some.
No. Again, this primarily addresses new construction.
Okay, well, that's-
A new building, absolutely, there'd be no
I understand that.
existing buildings and buildings, especially in the historic district. No.
Well, like I say, because the cost would be so cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
These historic buildings.
No, I mean.
You're gonna kill the project.
No, if there was a building that's gonna be renovated to a great extent, where I'm involved in, we're gonna have to talk about that, or have an alternative.
A good fire or alarm system. with
Yeah,
a-
something, yeah.
Well, we need to do something, Bruce, because it's public safety.
Oh, no, I understand that. I'm just
And-
clarification on what that meant.
I mean, I think you're exactly right, but I think that Lee's right too. And if he looks at it, and it looks like an extensive renovation, and little problem with the sprinkler, it is a safety issue. And then if it's 3 stories up, do we have a ladder that goes 3 stories for the fire?
Well, see, that's how that's worded, department vehicle access. Some buildings are 3 stories tall, but on the backside they're 4 stories tall because of the
Yeah.
topic area of the property. So, yeah, we have a 35 footer, so
So
that,
then, he would need to know that if can be access by our fire department, because we don't want to call Washington and have them bring a ladder.
oh, sure, they'll come like that. They're happy to do that.
Right, okay.
We don't want it to get that far.
Again, as I said, this pertains to new construction.
Okay, oh, I just wanted a clarification, I didn't understand that.
No, and I want to overemphasize that renovation of the existing buildings, as you said, sprinklers be cost prohibitive.
Oh, boy.
And-
Yeah.
But there's which I've been involved in, and people tell me, well, you're doubling up on things. I say, yeah, I like redundancy. We're gonna, if one thing that fails, we're gonna catch it by, and it's all about,
Like safety
notifying the people, notifying everybody.
Yeah, I think we
People in
had-
the building and those that should be, know what they're going on, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And your fire, when you check your fire alarms, do we know some of these fancy fire alarms? What, didn't we just have one a year or so ago, but the alarm sounded in Washington or somewhere? What was the deal with that? Well, never, it's okay.
I don't,
You can tell me later.
I don't know, I don't remember that, no.
Okay.
No, but, no, I mean, that could happen, well, those things need to be addressed, yeah, straight.
Well, and that's part of the problem that we have is faulty alarms. I mean, they're great to have, but they do malfunction. So
yeah.
that's why we're going with this lockbox system.
Yeah, there's so many systems now that work off of Wi-Fi or whatever,
Yeah.
radio, with just the wireless devices, and that's going to be a coming thing. They're going to continually improve on that sort of thing.
Right.
Simple installation and stuff is monitored, so I think it's all good. Yeah.
Okay,
So that's
what are
about
you
it.
asking us to do?
I'm asking for the council to adopt the 2015 various building codes along with the proposed amendments and the appendixes.
Okay. Should we do that by
That's first reading.
by ordinance?
First reading.
By ordinance here, it's coming up?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So you presented it, and now it's us to discuss, and any further discussion?
Yeah.
No, he's answered all my questions. I'm good.
Anybody else?
Public comment?
Any public comments?
I'm just curious as to, on the surface, it all sounds good. These are supposedly updated codes, whatever that means, but is it mainly just to curb liability? Or are there real practical applications? Or to a resident here in the city of Herman, is it just more red tape, quite frankly?
Can I answer
You want-
that?
Who wants to answer that one, Matt?
Bottom line, it's most of it, like the fire, or the sprinkler system and that part is all what they call life safety code. Same with the electric code. I mean, if it's not put in right, and he doesn't inspect it, and it's sharp, it's all about safety.
But has it changed that much from what you?
Well, they're always improving. I should let you talk.
Oh, from the change from the 2009?
Yes, sir.
No, not a great extent. They've added a few things. No, nothing major. There's no major changes.
John, I think what we're saying is if there's enough renovation to require Lee to be involved in it, whether, no matter what type of renovation, then we want to make sure that it's brought up to the proper codes and not done by some brother-in-law or something like that. So it is a matter of safety, and we are using generally accepted principles for these type of things, and that's the reason for it. It's all about public safety eventually.
And our local contractors that were in the meeting didn't really bat an eye about this stuff. But when they work 10 miles that way, they're already using much more restrictive codes than what we're doing.
Well, I'm just thinking about residents. I mean, that's added costs, more
And
regulations,
it's
added
also added
costs.
safety.
Yeah, and we,
Yeah.
Well, I'm almost 76 years old, and a lot of times I tell people, I have no idea how I made it this long before all these buildings were done. But I mean, it's all about safety. It just, we've heard horror stories, thousands of them. If only people would have had this, you know what I'm saying? It's not that the city's making any money off it. I know that.
right,
We've got the code books all here for public inspection for anybody that would want to go through them.
Oh yeah, they're all here anytime. Yep.
And you can look, I mean, I'm in the insurance industry, and if you look at the difference between fire claims that are in a city that has building codes and a rural area that's not in a city that doesn't have fire codes, there's way different claims.
glad you brought that up, Brian, because ISO, we have an ISO insurance, they rate cities, from 1 to 10 or something.
1 to 10.
I think we're number 5.
We're at 5 right now,
And that ISO.
and that's very good for a volunteer department.
I've been
I think
pushing
that's
that
as
guy
best you
off.
can do. I think if you go to 4, I think you have to have tax supported.
John, I would say that this is all about safety and that the money that might be spent with somebody having to do a certain electrical wiring system a certain way is saved many, many, many times over by the entire community having lower insurance rates and better protection and less claims and less fires and so on and so forth. So, you know, we've never really, I don't think, balked at approving these codes. And I think we should continue to do that.
I have one more question. The fees, this fee structure you have here, is this existing to what we have now?
Oh, okay, that was in that packet, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't,
that's-
because I didn't look at what we have.
I just, yeah. If you look at that, I just wanted to make a comparison, a sheet where I compared City of Herman and City of New Haven. I'm not recommending anything, just,
Okay, so that's what, it was a comparison, okay.
It's the very last 2 pages
It's
of
this
that
one,
whole
it says-
packet.
It says fees.
It's just tab right here.
And Lee asked me to put that in here really just for you to be aware, and if we wanted to further discuss it in the future, it wouldn't be a part of the ordinance that would be adopted.
if somebody was
in
to build a new house, that's a formula that I use to come up with the permit fee.
Let's
No, that's fine, I just.
No,
wanted to clarify.
and, yeah, I
Can I
think
just say
it's-
that for the public? I think you were getting ready to say it, but I don't know that you have this in front of you, just the comparison numbers? Just,
Yeah,
do you have it in front of you? Okay.
yeah,
The public might be interested in.
you want me to address that?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Let me get it out of here.
I have it.
Now this is, again, single-family residentials. There's this building valuation data, that's put out by the International Code Council, and there's a table on there, down towards the bottom at R3, 1 and 2 families, and that's always a type 5B construction. See, there's a cost over there, $118.45 a square foot. So I take that square footage, the square footage of the house being built times that dollar amount to come up with the value, construction value of that house. And then there's as you see on the top page, the multiplier that I use, .001. I came up with $165 permit fee. New Haven, they use the .00457. That permit fee for the same thing is $639.
Wow.
That's a,
So that's for new construction, remodel?
no, new construction, no. Remodel work, I kind of use my own swag numbers, yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you.
So just something to look at, yeah.
Are we in line with other towns?
Well, that's what, see, that's what he
No,
showed.
that,
Looks like we're a lot less.
Yeah.
that multiplier they use in New Haven, that's kind of a Franklin County number.
I see.
How would we get other cities to compare to?
I'm sorry,
How would we get other cities, just call them and get their fee schedule
What about
as a
Owensville?
comparison?
I don't know. We'd have to contact the city, yeah.
Could you do that?
Sure, I guess. I believe,
Somebody else needs to.
have they ever adopted a building code in Owensville?
Trish said she could have somebody. Do
I
what?
don't know.
I don't know if they ever adopted it.
Adopted
Oh,
a,
I don't know. I have no idea.
but, we can,
I can have,
we
yeah,
can,
we
we
can.
can do that, yeah. We'll find that out and, yeah, go from there, huh?
Is there any other discussion?
I'm done.
I just wanted to say that, the way houses and buildings are built nowadays is quite a bit different than the way they were 100 years ago. 70 years ago, an electrical system in a house, the highest load was in the kitchen, an electric stove, and maybe a hot water heater. If the stove and the hot water heater weren't gas, you probably didn't have 100 feet of water in a house back then. You know, now a modern two-story house probably has close to a mile of water in it. And that's one of the reasons as technology changes, the rules have to change with them. And that's where
Yeah.
Lee comes in. It's got-
And I have to say, you know, these people that sit on this board and come up with these building codes, a lot of those people on that board are manufacturers, and they like to push their product. So there's a lot of, I mean, there's safety things there too, but there's a lot of things come into play.
You know,
But
Lee, are our codes, now you said New Haven, New Haven is the same code, basically.
yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, but our fees are about a third or a fourth of New
Fourth,
Haven's.
yeah.
So our people here are getting a pretty good deal, it looks like, in terms of construction and having permits and so forth. Wouldn't you say?
Well,
I would
that's
think
why
so.
I brought it up, yeah. Right, so,
Thank you, sir.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lee, we appreciate you very much, thanks for what you do. Okay, so do we have a motion to adopt this, is that?
Well, I mean, we'll read it as we.
I thought, I was writing down there. Okay, you wanna read it, go ahead.
Do you want to read it? Okay. Bill number 2018-35 would be an ordinance to adopt the 2015 editions of the International Building Code, the International Residential Code, the International Plumbing Code, the International Fire Code, the International Mechanical Code, the International Fuel Gas Code, and the 2014 National Electric Code with certain amendments.
Okay, we've had discussion, is there any further discussion? Do I hear a motion?
I move bill number 218-35 first read.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried, first read. Now, we'll come back to 34.
Okay. On for second reading tonight is bill number 2018-34, an ordinance calling for the general election for the year of 2019, setting the date and time thereof, specifying polling places, appointing judges of election, specifying officers to be elected, providing filing dates for candidates, and providing for publication of notice of election and general provisions.
Is there any discussion? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
All right. Next is bill number 2018-36 on for first reading, an ordinance to approve and to authorize the execution of a commercial lease by and between the City of Herman, Missouri and Gasconade County, Missouri for certain space in the City Hall building. So that's in here, that's for the lease of room 7 to the county for Fay Owsley, the public administrator, to use.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Do we need to read that twice, or are we good to go on? Oh, we'll have a meeting next month, so we'll be good.
Yeah, they don't move into what, January?
January 1st.
They're gonna start moving in over the course of December, but will officially be operating here January 1.
Okay. Okay, resolutions. Why don't you read them, Dave? Save me a little bit.
First is a resolution to ratify an application for recertification for the Tree City USA designation.
Discussion? Motion.
I move to approve.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's passed.
And next is a resolution authorizing the execution of a utility easement deed between the City of Herman, Missouri and Earl and Laura Putzel. And so you have the resolution there, and then you have an easement deed that's attached so that we can install, this provides for all types of utilities, but Mark, specifically what's going in there?
Wastewater, sewer, and electric.
Right, so we're getting this from the property owner so that we have the right to do that.
Any discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Do we have any unfinished business? Okay, new business, any new business? I did want to talk a bit about this. Herzog Mansion Presents. It seems to me to be a situation like a Tupperware deal, where somebody comes in, Tupperware comes in, and they have this in somebody's home. So in that, I'm sure there's no problem with that, I wouldn't think, unless y'all see one. The only difference I see here is the fact that they said the first 50 people. Now, I know that's of marketing, but I think we ought to call and find out just what it is and see if they really think there's going to be 50 people or even 20 people. And I don't think it requires us to do anything. I don't know that anything's going to be sold. I don't know how it works exactly. But does anybody want to discuss it, or should we just find out what it is?
I think I just find out what it is.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so if that's all right with everybody, then I don't have any additional new business. Is there any other new business? No? Okay. Motions. We have minutes. What do we want to do?
Move to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Uh,
Okay, the motion's made and seconded. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Okay. Passing. Invoices for payment.
Make a motion with pay the bill.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to pay the bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bills are paid. Hire Christina Weidman as a full-time dispatcher. Is that what you
Yes.
recommend? Okay. Any other discussion on that?
I'll make a motion, we hire the recommendation.
We have a motion made to hire and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Approved transformer bid from Fletcher Reinhardt Company. Mark, you want to give us a little?
Well, we have 3 bids, Arkansas Electric, Fletcher Reinhardt, and Brownstown Electric. These are all pole mount, which go along with the voltage update we're doing in town. These will be in inventory, be changed out as we get to them. Jesse has 525s and 537.5s. One with the lower of the bids from Fletcher Reinhardt. I would recommend that we take that bid.
Make a motion we purchase.
Second.
Have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Do we have any citizen comments?
Do we need to approve this application for a special event?
I missed that?
No, I'm sorry, we must have mistaken that out of your binder. It was, the park board didn't have a quorum, so they couldn't approve it, so it'll be on your next meeting.
Okay.
And that's what I was talking about, Susan. I think I sent a kind of a confusing text to you about that park board, and I know you're not on it anymore, but you kind of are still involved. And if they're gonna have, this is the second time they've not,
Second time in 3 months.
right, that they've not had a quorum. And this is just stalling this entire procedure. They're gonna get to spring and say, oh, so well, gee, how come we're not gonna have it in time for baseball season or whatever it is they're doing? And if they need a person or they have somebody that's not attending, could you find out and see if they need us to do anything on that? Bruce?
Well, we need to do something. We need to address the problem because there was some stuff that needed to be approved the other night, and it should have been at this meeting
Yeah, I apologize,
for
Bruce.
the construction. Yeah,
I forgot you're the
but
expert on that.
yeah, I'm not sure what to do to get them to come. You know, if somebody signs up for one of these committees or boards, they should take care of business and be there.
Is it the same people
You can't
all
make
the
them
time?
all, I understand, but you know, there's 9 members and there was only 4 that showed up.
Is it the same ones not coming or different ones or?
Well, this one was kind of some different ones, but there's the same ones that don't come at all.
Well, maybe we need to do something on that.
So,
Can somebody find out? 'Cause Bruce, I guess you'd be the one then. I'm
And
sorry.
the president has been working out of town for several months, so he hasn't even been there for the last 4 meetings. And I think he's gonna be gone next month also. Well, they normally don't have a meeting in December, but the ones that were there said they would be happy to have a meeting in December so we can get the business taken care
I
of,
think
so.
you should have a meeting.
I don't know, I only seen 1 or 2 emails, I do not know whether the rest of them had responded. But, yeah, we can try and follow up on that.
Let us know if there's anything we can do. And Dave, are they allowed to have meeting, count votes if somebody attends via teleconference?
As long as everyone present at the meeting and the person participating by teleconference can all speak and hear each other, at the same time simultaneously, that's okay.
So like FaceTime would be okay? If
Yeah.
everybody could see it and talk back. Well, look, we gotta have a meeting and get at least one more person there. We need 5, so. Would you check and see if there's anything we need to do on it? I appreciate it. Sorry that I kind of skipped over you. You're the representative. Is there anything else? We don't have any citizen comments, so we have no closed session. So what do you want to do now?
Okay.
We have a motion to adjourn. It's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.